In this tutorial, I will show you how to install and use the Urban Reign Pnach Editor. This modding tool will unlock many new features and offers many options to customize the game Urban Reign. I will add chapters in the description and will do some cuts to make this as straightforward as possible. The first step is to join the Urban Reign modding Discord and go to the guide section. Right under my video, I will link the newest version of the modding tool and the pre-modded ISO file, which is the base file for our modding tool to work. After you paste the ISO into your PCSX2 game file location, we install the modding tool. If a new version is released, you can just overwrite the old one, assuming you didn't change the location after installing. If you did change the location, you need to uninstall it before getting the new version. Before we start exploring the tool, there are some paths to configure. Otherwise, the tool won't work and will simply close after picking an option. The developer page is a setting which will show you if proper paths are set. The first path is the sheet codes file path. Most of the features will be done via cheat files, which are located in this path. Copy and paste it, then click Save Path. You need to make sure that it also matches your actual path set inside your emulator. In the end, your path should look like this. The next path is the CRC of the Urban Reign Deluxe ISO. To get it, we right-click our ISO and click Properties. Copy and paste the CRC and click Save CRC Path. Next, we go to the Textures page. The base folder path is inside your Urban Reign Pnach Editor folder. Open the Textures folder, copy and paste the path, and click Save Base Path. The Replacements folder path is located inside your PCSX2 folder. Make sure that the path looks exactly like this. If the two folders don't exist, just create them and name them exactly as I did. Copy and paste it and click Save Replacements Path. Check your emulator's graphics section and make sure it looks like this. Now we go to the free mode and multiplayer page and click Switch Mode. The mission starter path is located inside your Pnach Editor folder. Copy and paste it and click Set Path. Now we go to the Music and Models page and configure our last path. Go to the game directory of your PCSX2 folder and copy the path. Paste it and click Save Path. In the end, your path should look like this. Also make sure that the ISO name stays like this, since many functions of the tool won't work otherwise. Last, we check the Moveset editor page. It should automatically be set to your game directory. Now we go back to the developer page and check if all paths are set. We try a random mod and it works now. A Pnach file should be created inside your PCSX2 cheats folder's location, which is named after the CRC of the game. Go to the cheats section of the emulator, click Enable Cheats, and with that, you finish the configuration. At this point, I will showcase the different mods. If you are interested in which mods work for which game, just click the eye in the corner of the mods or pages. Further descriptions or instructions will pop up for you. Before I show you the features of this tool, starting with the textures page, I'd highly recommend you to go to the Hotkeys section of your emulator to set a hotkey for toggling texture replacements and at least one save state. Also copy these optional settings to make the game run smoother and look better. Last, activate all of this so textures will load automatically in the future. Make sure again that your folder is named exactly like this and go to the textures page. Here you can pick a texture you like and click Swap Textures afterwards. You can see that the textures are moved inside the Replacements folder, which was our target outcome. By clicking Restore Originals, all the textures of the tool will be deleted. You can also activate all sets of certain pages or let the tool give you a random mix of all available textures. So let's switch to the game and have a look of the new textures. Press the hotkey for toggling texture replacements and you can see the new skins. You can also switch or delete textures while the game runs. All you have to do is press your hotkey twice to activate the new ones. So now, after we finish the textures page, we go to the music and models page. Here we'll do some changes on hex codes and patch the game via Delta Patcher. Don't be scared, since all tools are already included and simple to use. First, we do the hex changes by changing some character model sizes. Click Swap Model Size and you successfully changed some hex codes. Note that this will only work if the game is shut down and the ISO is correctly named Urban Reign Deluxe.iso.
Round one, fight!
To reset the changes or pick other sizes, you must first shut down the emulator. The characters got their original sizes back and we can continue. Next we will do the delta patching part by switching the model of Breadhawk in story mode. This will not change the voice or moveset though. Also not all characters are listed, since some of them just make the game crash. Pick a model and click Swap Bread Model. The delta patcher and an instruction document will pop up. And copy these two lines and click Apply Patch. As the message mentioned, don't panic and give it some time to patch. After a short time you receive this message and the model is successfully changed. Start the game and check the story mode intro to see if the changes are done. The procedure to undo the changes is as simple as before. Click Original and Swap Red Model and follow the instructions again. The delta patcher will do its work again and Red's model is normal again. As the last option for Delta Patcher, we can replace the music in some menus and multiplayer maps. Pick Tekken 5 because it has an awesome soundtrack and click Swap Music. The Delta Patcher will pop up again with similar instructions as before. Start the game and enjoy the Tekken 5 soundtrack in all its glory.
Round one. Fight!
At this point, I'm assuming you know how to reset the music to its original form, but I still show you since it's the last time we'll use Delta Patcher.
Round one. Fight!
You may have noticed a big instruction mentioning custom movesets. Since we finished the current page, let's go to this one next. Changing movesets will also change the CRC of the game, which means that we'll also have to change it in our modding tool afterwards. Your graphics and emulator settings will also reset to default. On the right side, you can see which moves can be changed for which characters. You can activate them all if you'd like, but I'd recommend trying them one after another. Some of them are a bit glitched and it can be worse if combined or if certain characters who own the original moves are missing. The options I picked as example run pretty clean and give Brett really strong moves and also replace some grabs and sword moves for Chun-Li and Lilia. After you click Apply Movesets, a message will appear informing you that the changes of movesets will also change the game's CRC. Click Yes and the changes are complete. To get the new CRC, rescan your game directory since the new one is not loaded yet. Copy the new CRC and save it as before. Start the game again and try out the new movesets. Red got new powerful moves and will push the combo meter high. Chun-Li's changes are a bit more subtle, like changing her down grab and the mentioned sword moves. The procedure to get the original movesets back is the same as before. Shut down the game and click Reset to Original and apply movesets. Save the CRC again, and with that we finish the moveset page. Before we continue exploring, let me introduce you to the last method the modding tool is using besides hex changes and delta patching: Pnach files. To summarize it very short, Pnach files are text files which your emulator can read and implement as cheats into the game. To do so, a Pnach file has to be located inside the cheats folder of the emulator and be named after the CRC of the game. but let me show you. First, we clear the cheat file we created earlier. Clicking Clear Code will delete any cheat file named after the current CRC. Next, we go to the stats page, which allows you to change all players' stats for a multiplayer match. The range goes from 100 KO to Demigod. Players can be excluded by toggling the stats button. If you want to save a combination you like, you can use the save slots to the bottom left. After you finished, a new cheat file will appear, which we'll now have a look at. Right-click and pick Open With and select the text editor. As you can see, each player and their modified stats are listed. Also, each line of code has a description at the end to make it more understandable. That makes it easier to combine some of the mods, which I will show you later in the chapter combining Pnach codes. So let's have a look if our changes work by starting the game. Having a message about loaded cheats is a good indicator that our file works. Except of Jake, all players should have nearly 0 HP, which was our goal.
Round one. Fight! Jake wins! Round two. Fight!
To undo the changes, go back to the main page and click Clear Codes. Reload cheats or restart the emulator to activate the changes. If you did changes while the game is running, you often need to re-enter the fighter select or multiplayer menu to activate them. I mostly just reload cheats and reload a save state afterwards, but just pick the method you prefer.
Round one. Fight!
And with that, the stats page is finished. We also finished the Randomize All and personalized stats mods. They also just changed stats as we did before, so the next mod is max weapon damage. Clear codes and click the mod. Again, you can see the changes in the file and reload your cheats or restart the game. As the name suggests, you basically 1-hit KO as long as you carry any weapon. As long as you don't carry any weapon, your damage remains unchanged. Before we continue, let's deactivate all messages of the emulator. To do this, go to Game Properties, Graphics, OSD and pick None at OSD message position.
Round one. Fight! Bordin wins! Round two. Fight!
Next mod is Weapons Only, where you don't do any damage except you use a weapon. Normal attacks do not even produce a sound anymore, and that's pretty much all about it. Reload your sheets or restart the game, and let's have a look.
Round one. Fight!
It works as it should, we finished the mod and can do the next.
Round one. Fight! Round one. Fight!
Clear the file as we did before and select player 1 god to create a new one. This pushes all stats of player 1 to the sky. You also receive unlimited special energy and down special, which is replaced with Ultra Instinct, making you dodge nearly all moves and makes golems seem weak next to Bordin.
Round one. Fight! Bordin wins! Round two. Fight!
With that, the mod is finished. Next is 1 vs 3. Pick 2 vs 2 team battle and choose your enemies. Player 2 will betray you in order to make it 1 vs 3.
Round one. Fight!
Clear code, and with that the mod is finished.
Round one. Fight!
Next is 4 vs 4. Pick 2 vs 2 again. The extra 4 players will spawn a bit outside. 2 of them will fight for you and the other 2 for the enemy team.
Round one. Fight!
Clear code again, and with that the mod is finished.
Round one. Fight!
Next is player 5 enemy. Pick 2 vs 2 again. This one is a bit unstable and only works if at least one other player picks Brad. The 5th player will be Brad and will only fight for himself.
Round one. Fight!
Clear code again, and the mod is finished. At this point, I assume you understand the concept, so I'll skip the part where we undo the changes. Next one is Regional Showdown. Here all players get a big amount of health and get a random region where they receive normal damage. After you damage the correct zone, each following hit at the same zone will do normal damage. Mod is done, next is Autoguard All. All players will automatically block every blockable hit or grab.
Round one. Fight!
Next is spiked walls. Sadly, this one is also not stable. The concept is that you will only receive damage when hitting walls, but it rarely works and often requires a huge knockback.
Round one. Fight!
Next one is Moveset and Stats Modifier. The models will stay the same, but moves and stats will be swapped between characters.
Round one. Fight!
Next one is changing down special. It lets you change them to all vanilla and some new specials. The color of the special bar will be changed, but the initial burst color sadly always remains unchanged.
Round one. Fight!
Next one is star restriction. All other characters except the ones with the chosen star amount are now banned. Next one is weak enemies in story. Possibly a good one if you got a friend struggling to finish the vanilla campaign. Next one is Randomize Supreme. Randomizes a lot of stuff and can even make a character fly. The Modifier will change in an interval of 30 seconds as long as it is turned on. So now there are not many pages and mods left, but those are the big guns. Starting with the tower page. Here you can modify the game's challenge mod from moderate to a ridiculously high level. In order to make it work, you must choose the same options in-game. If the mod option is higher, just pick the highest in-game.
Fight!
Next will be challenge mode and multiplayer team trials. Challenge modes can be done alone or with a partner. Multiplayer team trials are meant to be played by 2 players. All of the challenges are handcrafted and have descriptions on the right side. Let's have a look at one-hit enemy team, which basically does similar things as we did on the stat page earlier on.
Round 1. Fight!
Bring it!
The rest of the challenge page is up to you to explore, and we move to the team trials. Here you even got 2 pages of challenges. This one forces the enemy players to Chun-Li and Lillian with modifiers. AI partners are fine most times, but without 2 human players, some of the challenges are nearly impossible to win.
Round 1. Fight!
The rest of the pages is up to you to explore. Let's go back to the developer page and have a look at what mods are left here. Some geeky quirks here are visual and sound effects for the tool. Some of the effects looks nice, but having a sound every time you click a button can get annoying really fast. Swap stats is an interesting one. It doesn't change the stats of players 1 to 4, but for every character of the game. This also changes the star level of a character, so you can pump Bordin to 5 stars and Golem to 1 or even 0 stars. If you didn't notice until now, you can see that the developer page tracks if some of the big mods are turned on or off. If you want to modify the European version of the game, you can click here. It creates a large sheet file with the European CRC and instructions of what you can do. Now let's talk about guns. The gun is normally exclusive to enemy Bordin in mission 100. This tool not only lets everyone pick a gun, you can also modify it even further. At the developer page, you can modify a lot of different moves you can do with your gun, depending on which direction you look. The range goes from normal fire to Uzi-like speed. AI also uses them if you like to. Besides the gun, many other weapons and items are added which are not in the vanilla game. I didn't pick the best setup to showcase, but you get how it works.
Round 1. Fight! 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. 16. 17. 18. 19. 20. 21. 22. 23. 24. 25. 26. 27. 28. 29. 30. 31. 32. 33. 34. 35. 36. 37. 38. 39. 40. 41. 42. 43. 44. 45. 46. 47. 48. 49. 50. 51. 52. 53. 54. 55. 56. 57. 58. 59. 60. 61. 62. 63. 64. 65. 66. 67. 68. 69. 70. 71. 72. 73. 74. 75. 76. 77. 78. 79. 80. 81. 82. 83. 84. 85. 86. 87. 88. 89. 90. 91. 92. 93. 94. 95. 96. 97. 98. 99. 100. 101. 102. 103. 104. 105. 106. 107. 108. 109. 110. 111. 112. 113. 114. 115. 116. 117.
With that, the developer page is done, but we still got some gun content left, which is fake bullets. This one will force all players to carry a gun with nerfed stats. We want to implement it into our gun setup, so we rename the recent Pnach file. Clear codes will now leave the file untouched, and we pick fake bullets. Open both Pnach files and copy the gun modifier you like. In this case, I want player 1 to have the same gun setup as before, but all other players should receive a nerfed one. As you can see, every code has a description to the right again, so you can design your own sets easier. This will come handy in the last chapter, since we will take heavy usage of it. Copy all the gun lines and replace the ones of player 1. Save the file and rename it to the CRC again.
Round 1. Fight!
Except of player 1, all guns are nerfed, which is what we wanted. With that, guns are done and we move to the last chapter. Everything I told you and more comes together in the last 2 pages. So let me show you by moving to the multiplayer and free mode page. To the right side you can set teams and if a player is controlled by AI or human. Some mods we already covered are here and also some new ones. The main point here is that you can modify each player individually. As example, we use a new one which sets the HP to 0 and instantly kills the player. Actually a really helpful one for modding free mode and story mode. All players should instantly fall to the ground, and if you ever wondered if you can have a draw, here's your answer. Test the mods you want, copy them into your Pnach file, and create multiplayer matches the way you want.
Round.
With that, we are moving to the final chapter, creating your own free mode and story mode. Our member Stevecroft created free modes fully playable in co-op. Danger, the creator of this tool in Discord, even did a full co-op New Game Plus for the story mode. In both modes, you can switch between multiplayer and story camera. Hold R2 and press L3 or R3 to toggle the camera on or off. Let's start with free mode. If you open the file, you can see that every mission has if rules. A simple yet effective way to separate each mission and mod them all as you wish. If you put any mod above the first mission, it will be enabled in all missions. All details are again written to the right of the code. If you want to activate a code like a mission timer or make the mission fail if your partner dies, just change the last 0 of extended to 1. The only point missing here is the enemy amount. If you want to increase the enemy numbers, you have to scroll all the way down. Here you can set a maximum of 6 enemies. Both enemy lines have to get the same number, in this case I choose 5. Now we pick free mode, get to mission 1, and the first change is that we get a partner, which is normally not possible in the first 30 missions. We got 5 enemies, which is what we wanted. Okay, we got a nice blueprint now, so let's rename it so it won't get deleted. Now we go to the mission page, pick 0 HP again, but this time only for our partner. Here you can pick the mission you want to mod and also the enemy amount, AI behavior and weapon usage. After we create it, you can see the missions file. Note that this will only mod one mission and one mod for each player at a time, so renaming or some kind of backup for each Pnach file is a must. The mods you picked will always be the first listed in a Pnach file. Always leave the very first line empty, since the emulator won't read it. To add your change, paste the code and add another if mission line above it. Now player 2 should die instantly, but the round is not lost. The example works, so let's move to the next mission to see if we did it correct and nothing transfers to the other missions. At the moment, some missions are a bit glitchy, so your AI partner will do nothing. A workaround is to switch to the AI and back again. Hold R2 and press X to do so. And with that, you should nearly everything about modding free mode. So let's go to New Game Plus, which is a mod for story mode. A short word of mine for story mode. In my opinion, it's way more unstable to mod compared to free mode. I tried adding things to the New Game Plus files, but more often than once it did not work or totally broke the file. So far I can safely say that Dangerous New Game Plus mods work fine, but adding stuff in story mode in general is a pain. In the end, I would recommend playing the vanilla game first, full free mode second, New Game Plus third, and if you're still thirst after that, grab the modding tool and design your own free mode. So let's have a look at New Game Plus. Pick story mode and start a new one. Yes, it's not meant to be easy. Some missions got really hard, but funny challenges. For picking player 2, there are some restrictions. If you open the file, you can see 4 lines responsible for the player 2 character. If you want to change player 2, all of them have to match the exact character ID. A list of working and not working player 2 characters can be found in our Discord. Note again that free mode doesn't have that restriction. All characters can be picked there, even if you want a team of the same characters or pick characters in missions where they are already enemies. In both modes, you can adjust the AI and choose the enemy's characters. Responsible for this are the 1 till 6 ID lines and the 1 till 6 code lines. Inside the mission page, you can adjust the AI and copy the 1 till 6 code, depending on how many enemies you fight. The 1 till 6 ID will force the character you want. The tool will always give you the ID of enemies which are normally fighting you at the chosen mission. Note that you can only choose IDs of characters which are present in the chosen map. Otherwise, the enemy character will be present, but the model will be invisible. And yes, if you want to adjust the AI for your own free mode file, you need to copy all of the lines depending on the enemy amount. Back again to free mode, since I wanted to show you how you can force your team to same characters or even characters who already are enemies. Pick this or any other team mode for free mode. They give you a set team in free mode by skipping the character select and forcing them for you. Open the file and search for the character pics and skip lines. Use the same method of replacing character IDs as we did in story mode before. The rest here are lines for moves, stats, and so on. And with that, all pages and categories should be covered. If any further questions occur, feel free to join our Discord and ask them in our help channel. Also, this guide had to be redone because the original of Danger has been deleted by YouTube. It consumed a lot of time to be done again, so yeah, thanks again YouTube. But enough of that, and let's go to the last point. Have fun playing this game the way you like. Bye bye.